Hydrangea wilting on the hottest afternoon looks like a plant dying of thirst. Every leaf hangs like wet washing, the whole thing fainting by the fence, so you reach for the hose. But wait, put a finger in the soil first. This plant is a drama queen, and half the time it is not thirsty at all. It is just acting. I am Mikal, I drive buses in Belfast. Just acting. Let me tell you about this plant, because the whole story is hidden in its name, hydrangea. That first part, hydra, is the old word for water. Some folk will tell you it is named for the shape of the seed pods, like little water jars. Either way, water is written right into the name and the plant lives up to it. It is one of the thirstiest shrubs in the whole British garden. Here is why. The roots are shallow, sitting near the surface where the soil dries out first. The leaves are broad and soft, a huge area for losing water on a warm, breezy day. Put those two facts together, shallow roots and big leaves, and you get a plant that loses water at the top faster than it can pull it up from below. So on a hot afternoon, it does the only sensible thing it can. It lets the leaves droop to cut its losses. That dramatic collapse you see across the border is not always an emergency. Very often, it is the plant quietly managing its own budget, and doing it rather well. So here is the mistake almost everyone makes, and I made it for years myself. You see the leaves hanging, you assume the plant is parched, and you drench it every single evening. But stop and think about what a droop actually is. When the sun is at full strength, a plant with big soft leaves loses water through them faster than its shallow roots can pull it up. So it does something clever. It relaxes those leaves and lets them hang, which shrinks the surface facing the sun and slows the loss right down. It is not fainting, it is closing the shutters at midday the way the old shops used to on a hot day. Whatever the soil is doing down below, the plant will still do this when the heat is on. And that is the whole trap. The wilt is a response to sunshine, not a report on the soil. So when you rush out with the hose at 2 in the afternoon, you are answering a question the plant never asked. 9 times out of 10 those roots were perfectly damp, and all you have done is push the soil towards waterlogged. The plant was managing just fine, you simply did not trust it. So how do you ever know if it is real? You change the time you look. The heat of the afternoon lies to you every single day because every hydrangea wilts in strong sun. The cool of the morning tells the truth. Here is the test I use. Go out first thing, around 7, before the sun has any strength in it. Look at the plant then. If it is standing up firm and proud at breakfast, and only flops later when the day heats up, that is pure heat wilt. It is normal, it is harmless, and it needs no water at all. But if it is still slumped and sad in that cool morning air, when there is no sun to blame, then something is genuinely wrong underneath, and that is your green light to water. One droop, 2 totally different meanings, and the only thing that separates them is the clock. A bus timetable works the same way. The same empty road means one thing at 3 in the morning and something completely different at 8:30. Context tells you what you are actually looking at. For a hydrangea, the morning is the context. So the rule for this plant is simple. Feel the soil, do not read the leaves. Push a finger straight down into the ground, right in past the first knuckle, 5 to 10 centimeters deep near the roots. Now you have real information instead of a performance. If it comes out cool and a little damp, the plant is fine. It is only sweating through a hot afternoon, so leave the hose exactly where it is. If it comes out dry and dusty, with nothing clinging to your skin, then yes, it is genuinely thirsty, and you give it a long, slow drink at the base. But here is the part that quietly costs people their plants. If the soil is already wet and the plant is still drooping, do not add any more water. A hydrangea sitting in soggy ground is not thirsty, it is drowning because the roots are starved of air. Pouring on another can is the one move that turns a tired plant into a dead one. Wet soil with a wilting plant is a warning, not a request. When in doubt, 10 seconds with your finger beats 10 minutes with the hose every time. But here's the thing. The best watering trick for a hydrangea happens long before any heat wave on the day you plant it. Where you put it decides how much water it will ever ask you for. Stand this plant in full, baking afternoon sun and you are signing up to run out with a can every single evening from June to August. Give it a spot in dappled shade instead, somewhere that catches the gentle morning sun but is shaded from the fierce afternoon, and the very same plant will ask for a fraction of the water. You have solved the problem at the source, rather than firefighting it daily. One warning though about the opposite trap. Do not tuck it tight against a house wall or under a big tree thinking you are being kind. Those are the driest spots in the entire garden. The wall and the leaves overhead throw a rain shadow, so the rain never lands there, and the tree drinks first every time. A hydrangea in a rain shadow will nag you for water forever, and you will never win no matter how many cans you carry out. I lost a lovely blue one against my own back wall before I understood that. It was not thirsty, it was starved of rain, and no amount of hose water on a hot day could stand in for a proper soaking that never came. Open ground in gentle shade with a good mulch over the roots is where this plant finally stops performing and settles down. Now, some of you gave up on shady borders a long time ago and grow your hydrangeas in pots. And a pot is a different animal altogether. A container holds only a little soil, so it stores only a little water. And on a hot day, a potted hydrangea can genuinely need a drink every morning. That is not the plant being greedy, that is just the physics of a small pot with a big thirsty plant sat in it. Gardeners feel this one in their wallets. There is a lovely post on the UK gardening forum where someone watches their hydrangeas quietly push up the water bill all summer long and simply shrugs and says they would not have it any other way. So you are in good company if this plant is your most expensive resident. Two things soften the blow. First, a good mulch, an inch or two of bark or compost laid over the soil, slows the evaporation and buys you time between waterings, and it costs you next to nothing. Second, if you possibly can, collect and use rainwater. Stand a water butt under a downpipe and one decent night of rain will fill it, and that water is free, soft, and perfect for this plant. Because, as we are about to see, this particular shrub has very strong opinions about the water you give it. This is also where the kit on my own tap earns its place. Potted hydrangeas and hanging baskets are the needy ones, so I keep them on one zone of a Johgee 4-zone timer, a short drink every morning before my early shift, while the borders sit on a separate zone entirely. The hub lives indoors and reaches the tap through the wall. Now, if all you have is 3 pots, a watering can, and 5 minutes does exactly the same job, and I would keep your money. But if you are away a lot, like me, this is what quietly saves the drama. Right, I promised you one last secret, and it is the best party trick this plant has. With many hydrangeas, you can change the color of the flowers by changing the soil. Acid soil tends to give you blue flowers, and alkaline soil tends to give you pink. But the reason is cleverer than the soil on its own. What actually turns those flowers blue is aluminium, a metal already sitting in most soil. In acid ground, the plant can take that aluminium up through its roots, and the flowers run blue. In alkaline ground, the aluminium gets locked away, out of reach, and the flowers stay pink. Now, do not take that as gospel, because the real story is a bit richer. The variety matters. A white one stays white whatever you do, and the water you pour on plays its part too. Hardtap water is slightly alkaline and nudges things pink over the years, while soft rainwater helps the blues stay true. So the color out in your border is really a slow conversation between the soil, the metal buried in it, and the water from your can. Change the water, and over the seasons, you slowly change the flower.